What's up guys, it's Aaronitmar. Today we're taking on the Classic Mode origins and references for all of the characters added to Smash Ultimate in Fighter Pass 1. Each of these routes is a bit more in-depth than other characters since development of DLC takes a fraction of what developing the base game takes. On top of that, it feels like a real tribute to the characters. The Smash devs want to make sure that everything that comes with the character is top-notch. Before we start though, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Disney Heroes Battle Mode, a free-to-play strategy-based mobile RPG. Stacking your team with over 100 different heroes from Disney and Pixar movies, you travel through the digital city, taking on all kinds of enemies, including other Disney characters. The most exciting part is setting up your team because you get to test the strengths of all of your favorite Disney and Pixar characters. I've always been a Toy Story fan, so I had to throw my boy Woody on the team. He's just been my guy since the very beginning. Using your favorites is always a treat, and developing strategies and combos using those characters is just plain fun. The game even has guilds so that you can team up with other players. So check out the link down in the description and download Disney Heroes Battle Mode now, available on both the App Store and Google Play. And once again, thank you to Disney for sponsoring this video. First up is Piranha Plant, who is of course a weird limbo character as it's neither a base roster character nor a Fighter Pass slot. Piranha Plant's classic mode is titled New Bloom. Each fight in this route has Plant take on all of the base roster ultimate newcomers. Nearly every fight has a unique newcomer teamed up with an Echo Fighter, and the order these fights take place in are based on the reveal order for each unique fighter. Echo Fighters are just thrown in there as a bonus. The first fight is against all 8 of the Inkling costumes in a Horde battle. Next, Plant takes on Ridley. The Echo Fighter paired with Ridley here is Dark Samus, just to match Ridley. Next is a fight against both Belmonts, Simon and Richter. Who knows which one of these characters is the real Echo Fighter? Ooh. King K. Rool and Chrom are next, this time in a free-for-all battle. Isabelle and Daisy seem like a good team-up, so they're the pairing for the 5th fight. And the final normal fight is against Incineroar and Ken on the boxing ring in a free-for-all. An obvious callback to the dual reveal trailer that showed off both of these characters in the final Smash Ultimate Direct. The boss for the route is Rathalos, continuing the theme of new fighters as Rathalos is one of the newest bosses to the Smash series. Joker's classic mode is simply titled Shadows. The route is based on Shadows, a recurring element of the Persona series. For the sake of not spending an hour talking about this, we'll focus specifically on Persona 5 as that's where Joker comes from. Shadows are monsters directly created from humans' true selves, the side of one's personality that they don't want to see. In Persona 5, certain particularly twisted humans can have almost the exact same personality as their evil shadow self. In Persona 5, these shadows are fought and ultimately defeated, eliminating that evil personality from the human counterpart. With all that said, Smash takes this concept and applies it to Joker's classic mode. Each fight has Joker take on a dark alternate costume meant to represent that character's so-called evil shadow form. So for instance, the first fight has Joker fight 6 dark Mr. Game & Watches in a Horde battle. But in the next battle, Joker is joined by a light Mr. Game & Watch, suggesting that the evil or darkness from Mr. Game & Watch's heart was taken away and he became good again. This pattern continues for the rest of the classic mode route, where Joker is joined by one of the opponents in the previous match. The second battle has Joker take on a giant dark Kirby, which is potentially a reference to Black Frost, a demon version of Atlas's mascot, Jack Frost. With Kirby now as an ally, Joker takes on Dark Samus and Dark Samus. The two Samuses could be a reference to Aegis and Metis, who have vaguely similar color schemes to Samus and Dark Samus in this fight. Aegis and Metis are also both androids, so having two characters in mech-like suits makes the parallel even stronger. Kirby being blue in this fight additionally references Jack Frost in his usual appearance. Next is a fight against Dark Meta Knight, with light Dark Samus as an ally. Meta Knight and his mask are both likely meant to be stand-ins for the Shadows who all wear masks in Persona 5. We have a big fight next against Link, Young Link, and Toon Link, all of course in their dark forms. I mean, come on, did you really think they weren't going to use this? These 3 are just the perfect shadow versions of the normal character, it just works too well. Lastly is a fight against a giant dark Incineroar with the fierce deity Link as an ally. Giant Incineroar here is a reference to Shadow Shido's true form. I mean, they both kinda built funny. The final boss is against both Master and Crazy Hands on Memento's Omega form, with Our Beginning playing in the background. Both the stage and song choice are likely meant to make this fight a reference to the final boss of Persona 5, Yaldabaoth. Heroes Classic Mode is titled A History of Heroism, which is just the general title for a route that is entirely made up of Dragon Quest references. To start, every fight except for the boss fight is a stamina battle as a way to represent Dragon Quest's battle system of draining an opponent's HP to 0, a system that Dragon Quest helped to pioneer in the early days of gaming. The first fight is against 3 small blue Kirbys and a normal red Kirby, a reference to the slime and she-slime enemies. These are found relatively early in every Dragon Quest game and are typically very weak, just like they are in this fight, and slimes have essentially become the mascot of the entire Dragon Quest series. The second fight is against the hero from Dragon Quest XI and a tiny red Robin. While Hero needs no explanation, Robin has the same color scheme as Veronica, one of the party members in 11, a woman who was mysteriously turned back into a young girl, which is why Robin is so tiny. Next is the hero from Dragon Quest IV, Solo. This battle taking place on Temple is meant to be a loose reference to the floating castle Zenithia. After this we take a brief intermission to fight Rathalos. Dragons are pretty regular enemies in Dragon Quest, I mean, it's in the name. So finding a dragon about midway through the game wouldn't be too surprising. Moving right along, we next have a fight against the hero from Dragon Quest VIII and a tiny Pikachu. In Dragon Quest VIII, the hero has a little pet, a pig rat by the name of Munchie. Pikachu is meant to represent Munchie, but Munchie already lives inside of 8's pocket in Smash. Does that mean there are 2 Munchies? The final normal fight is against Erdrick, the hero from Dragon Quest III. The stage this battle takes place on is Castle Siege, and specifically the Cavern Transformation, possibly a reference to battles that take place in the basements of castles in Dragon Quest III. The boss fight of the route is not your usual fight. Hero first takes on a blue Robin. This is based on the Dragon Lord from the original Dragon Quest, a human-like sorcerer who wants to unleash his evil minions onto the kingdom of Alefgard. Once Robin is defeated, a giant purple Charizard must be fought. Similarly, once the Dragon Lord is defeated in Dragon Quest I, he takes on his true form of a giant dragon. So this whole fight is basically a reference to the boss fight from Dragon Quest I. Man, I really wish more classic modes did this, it's just such a fun way to finish off a route. Banjo-Kazooie's classic mode is titled Perfect Partners. Each fight has the pair fight other pairs of characters, whether a 2-in-1 fighter or just 2 full characters. Each battle also takes place on a stage with a song that references a different world from Banjo-Kazooie. Our first fight has the duo take on Duck Hunt on Spiral Mountain. Duck Hunt is using the color scheme that resembles Banjo-Kazooie, with the dog being brown and the duck being red. The next fight is against Rosalina and Luma, another 2-in-1 fighter. This fight takes place on Tortimer Island, referencing the Treasure Trove Cove world in Banjo-Kazooie. After is of course the only remaining 2-in-1 fighter, the Ice Climbers. This fight appropriately takes place on Summit, a stage that matches the theme for Freezeezy Peak, just a little less Christmas. Following this is a battle against Link and Zelda. This fight takes place on Mushroomy Kingdom, a stage which gives World 1-1 of Super Mario Bros. A desert theme. This desert theme is a perfect reference for Gobi's Valley, the desert world in Banjo-Kazooie. After that is a fight against Fox and Falco on Luigi's Mansion, to reference Mad Monster Mansion. The color scheme of Fox and Falco are also appropriate to a spooky or haunted themed level. Finally, the pair take on Donkey and Diddy Kong. This battle has no reference to a world in Banjo-Kazooie specifically, but is instead a reference to the fact that Banjo-Kazooie and the Kongs have their origins with Rare. Yeah, I know Donkey Kong existed before, but Rare is responsible for making Donkey Kong go from this to this. The final boss is against Master and Crazy Hand, another appropriate fight for a partner-themed classic route, with both hands being fought regardless of the intensity reached. Also, while the reference may be loose at best, there's a disembodied hand in Banjo-Kazooie named Motzen, who plays the organ in Mad Monster Mansion. Terry Bogard's classic mode is titled The King of Smash. As the title states, this route is a mashup of Super Smash Bros. And the King of Fighters. Every fight in this route has Terry take on a team of 3 characters, similar to the team setup in the King of Fighters series. Likewise, these fights are in stamina mode to emulate the health bar in those games. The first fight is against Mario, Peach, and Rosalina, forming Team Mario. Next up is a fight against Sheik, Link, and Zelda. Prism Tower, the stage this battle takes place on, as well as the song choice, are a reference to Kim Kathwan's stage from Fatal Fury 2. Third is a fight against a team of royalty, King Bowser, King Dedede, and King K. Rool. The music and stage choice of Suzaku Castle reference Big Bear's stage from Fatal Fury 2. Next up, Terry takes on Pit, Dark Pit, and Palutena. The song here points us to the Athena series, which has a similar vibe to Kid Icarus. Along with being an SNK property, Athena has made multiple cameos in the King of Fighters series. Items are also present for this fight, with each item available being similar to an item that Athena can utilize in her games. After that is Team Retro, I guess you could say. Terry takes on Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man. The penultimate fight is against Ridley, Ganondorf, and Bayonetta, forming Team Darkness. The stage points us to this being a reference to Geese Howard, whose home stage in Fatal Fury Special was Geese Tower, a skyscraper, and the song Soy Sauce for Geese just cements this. All three of these characters are associated with darkness, just like Geese. The boss fight of this route is incredibly unique, pitting Terry against Ryu, Ken, and another Terry. There are layers of references to this fight. First, Ryu, Ken, and Terry have all crossed over together in the Capcom vs SNK games, so this could be a reference to that. Additionally, the music playing here is the song that plays during the secret boss fight against Ryo Sakazaki in Fatal Fury Special. Ryo himself was created as an homage to Ryu, so it all kinda comes full circle with Ryu being in this fight. And finally, simply put, these three are all the only characters in Smash to originate from traditional fighting games. Byleth's classic mode is titled A Heroic Legacy. Like many other Fire Emblem reps, this route has Byleth take on the many Fire Emblem characters represented in Smash, and in this route this is done specifically based on chronological order for each representative's games. Each fight is also a stamina battle, similar to the way that health works in the Fire Emblem games. The first fight is of course against Marth, which takes place on Temple with the song Story 5 Meeting. The fight being on Temple calls back to Super Smash Bros. Melee, where Marth and Roy both debuted in the series. Despite the game having 2 Fire Emblem characters, there wasn't actually a stage based on that series, so any fight in single-player modes against Marth or Roy would take place on Temple instead. This song is also the only Fire Emblem song present in Melee, simply named Fire Emblem back then. Following that is a fight against Roy on Arena Ferox. After that you have a pretty neat fight against both versions of Ike. First you take on Path of Radiance Ike, then Radiant Dawn Ike after, which follows the progression of Ike's games. Then you take on Robin, Chrom, and Lucina, all representing Fire Emblem Awakening. After that you take on a male and female Corrin. The male Corrin is wearing white, while the female Corrin is wearing black, which is a reference to both the Nohrian and Hoshiden sides of the conflict in Fire Emblem Fates. The penultimate fight is against 3 Byleths, each using a color scheme that references the house leaders in Fire Emblem 3 houses. Red represents Edelgard, blue represents Dimitri, and yellow represents Claude. Each character in 3 houses also utilizes a main weapon, which are all present in Byleth's moveset, but the CPUs in this fight all use moves that are based on each weapon. The final boss fight is simply against Master and Crazy Hand, but the absolute fun of this is that every unique fighter from Fire Emblem is included in this fight as your allies, so you can really go to town and get your revenge on the Hands for being in so many classic modes. And that is it for all of the classic mode origins for Fighter Pass 1. You can tell these all received quite a bit more attention to detail since they can focus on a much smaller number of routes versus the base roster. Honestly, I think my favorite is probably Hero's route, because it just feels like such a celebration of Dragon Quest, but literally every route here is pretty awesome. Let me know which route was your favorite down in the comment section below, and until then, peace out, and please remember to be good to one another.